welcome to Love and Life's Journey DIY. My name is Chantel and I am so glad you're here. Today I have 3 DIYs for you that are a winter theme, and these would be great to add to your Christmas decor, but they will be perfect to leave up long after Christmas is over. So let's not wait any longer. Let's jump in and get started.
For this project, I will be using this cute little chalkboard snowman sign I picked up at Target for $5, and I like the chalkboard side, and the other side has this nice wood grain, but we're going to embellish it a little bit. And I'm going to be using these stencils that I picked up at Dollar Tree for this. I will also be using some of this decorative filler, also from Dollar Tree, as well as this white berry garland. I'm just going to use some white craft paint and the stencil to stencil on some snowflakes onto the wood side of my snowman. There are 3 different size snowflakes on this stencil, and I am going to use all 3 of them, and I'm not going to fill them in completely because I want this to be kind of a rustic stencil, so it's not a real crisp line on my stencils. I don't want to stencil where his hat is because he wouldn't be made of snow on his hat. So I am using a very light dry brush of black chalk paint just to go along the edge of a ruler where the edge of his hat would be where it meets the top of his head. And then I'm also going to dry brush a little bit around the edges of his hat just to make it stand out and give it a little bit of dimension. And then I added a few more snowflakes so it looked like it was coming from under his hat. Next, I'm going to use that decorative filler to add some embellishments to his hat, sort of like it would be on the band of his hat, but I'm not going to add an actual hat band. I'm just going to add a few of these little snowy pine cones, and then there are some little white, they look like flowers. I'm not really sure what they are, but I'm going to add those as well. Next, I'm going to take some of the white craft paint and I'm going to add some little snow patches to the top of his hat and a little bit on the brim as well. Next, I'm going to take a couple of small pieces of the berry garland and I'm going to twist them around and then just add them to those little pine cone embellishments that I have on the top of his hat. Next, my little snowman needs a scarf, but I didn't want to do something just traditional or expected like ribbon or fabric, so I'm going to use this berry garland and I'm going to make a little scarf. I didn't want to wrap it around the snowman because the chalkboard is on the other side and I want to be able to use that. So I just folded it over about 4 times and then I'm going to wrap it around a couple of times to make the parts of the scarf that are hanging down. And I just like how this is a little unexpected and rustic, and I think it just really finishes off the snowman. And that's all I'm going to add to this snowman. I really like how this looks, and I've got the chalkboard on the other side if I want to use that. So I'm really pleased with how this came out. Today's video is part of a fun collaboration called the Winter Wonderland Collab. I am joining in with the 7 other creators who not only have great YouTube channels and are super creative, but they're just genuinely nice people as well. There will be a playlist link in the description box below, so be sure to check that out and watch all of their videos. For this project, I will be using this wood signboard from Hobby Lobby. The regular price on it is $4.49, but I got it 40% off, so it was like $2.75, and it's all ready to go with a hanger and everything. I'm also going to be using these tree ornaments from Dollar Tree. They come in a 2-pack, so I purchased 2 packages, but I'm only going to be using 3 of these trees. I am going to be using a little bit of wired ribbon. This is one that I picked up at Walmart in their Christmas section. And I will be using one of these little snowflake ornaments from this package from Dollar Tree. It comes with 6 on it. I'm just going to be using 1. I'm going to be using this sign just the way it is. I'm not going to add any paint or anything to it. So this DIY is super quick and easy. I'm going to take my little trees, and they do have a hole in the top because they are meant to be ornaments, and I want to fill that in, so that's what I'm going to do first. To do this, I'm going to be using some hot glue and some white craft paint, and then either some sparkle glaze or a little bit of glitter. This is a really fine glitter that I had from Stamping Up that is called Sparkling Diamonds, and that's actually the one I'm going to be using. So the first thing I'm going to do is put a metal surface underneath those holes on the trees, and I'm just doing this because I'm going to fill the holes with hot glue, and I don't want the hot glue to stick to the surface below, and a metal surface it doesn't stick to, it just pops right off. So I'm carefully filling the holes with a little bit of hot glue, and then I'm holding it in place until the glue sets up a little bit, and then when I pull it off of the metal ruler, then it's all set and ready to paint. And I'll just repeat that with the other 2 ornaments. Now I need to cover up that hot glue with a little bit of the white craft paint, so I'm just going to carefully go over that and try to make it blend in with the ornament. And then while the paint is still wet, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of that glitter over the top. And that's why I decided to use the glitter instead of the sparkle glaze, because if I were going to use the sparkle glaze, I would have to wait for my paint to dry. But this way, I can just sprinkle the glitter over the top of the wet paint. Now I'm going to position my trees on my wood sign, and I had thought about just using 2 trees and then putting some type of saying or word on that right hand side, but I decided, not every sign has to have words or a saying, and I just liked the simplicity of this with just the trees. So that's what I'm doing, and as you can see here, I'm placing the ornaments that are on each side actually over the top of the frame, and then the one in the center is just on the center piece and not overlapping the frame. And to secure these, I just used a little bit of hot glue. I love how adding the trees on the top of the frame, it just adds so much dimension. Now you could leave it just like this, but I decided to use some ribbon and make just a simple bow to add to the hanger. So I am just creating a loop with my ribbon and securing that with a little hot glue. And then I am going to set that on top of another piece of ribbon, and then just cut off the length that I want. Once I trim off that bottom piece, I am going to trim the ends of it to just add a little dovetail effect on it, and then I'll just put my loop back on top of this piece of ribbon and tie it off in the center tightly so that it kind of squishes it in the middle and gives it that nice shape. And I'm going to use just a piece of jute twine. You could use floral wire, even a bread tie, just something uh, to hold it together. And you do want it to look nice though, because it does kind of show. Then I'm going to take my little snowflake ornament and I'm going to hot glue that on top of my ribbon. And once I determine where I want to place the bow, I'll just hot glue that to that jute twine hanger. If you are a regular subscriber, thank you so much for coming back and watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. If you like DIYs on a budget and Dollar Tree DIYs, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and also hit that bell right next to it and set your notifications so that YouTube will notify you when I upload new videos. I'm going to be using some of these pine garland ties and one of the Dollar Tree Christmas trees to make a little winter greenery piece that can be left out after Christmas, and so it's not really going to look like a Christmas tree. That's one thing that I kind of miss when I put away all of my Christmas things is all of the greenery, because I have so much more of that in the house at Christmas time. So this is going to help add to my winter decor. I'm just using the pine garland ties to fill in some of the more sparse areas of the tree, and this is just going to give it a little fuller look. And you can see just how much this changes the look of it just by adding these. And one tip when using these is to twist them before you use them, because that kind of fluffs them up instead of having them just be flat. I'm not going to be using the stand, so I'm going to remove that little plastic piece on the end. And then I'm going to take some spray chalk paint, and I picked this up at Walmart, and I am going to spray paint the tree. And I apologize for the bad video footage here. The light bulb in the garage burned out, and so I had minimal light to work with, but it is what it is. I got it spray painted. I am using a heavy coat of spray paint on this, and I actually sprayed down from the top on the branches. Then I sprayed straight into the tree, and then I held the tree upside down and sprayed the bottoms as well, because I want this to look really snowy. So here's what my little tree looks like after all of the snow is on it. And I missed a few places, but that's fine because I want some of the greenery to show through, but I did want it to look really snowy. So you can use any type of container for your tree. I am using this white ceramic jar that actually I received with a bouquet of flowers in it. I think it's going to be perfect for this. Apparently my battery died and I didn't get the footage of me putting the tree into the jar, but I just used some floral foam, put that in the jar, and then I pushed my tree down inside of that. And I am going to be adding these little cotton pods to the tree. These are some that I picked up at Dollar Tree. They were in like a little package of 4 for $1, and you can get them that way, or you can even find them on some of their like floral stems have cotton pods on them. So I just used these and glued a few around the tree. Then I'm going to make a bow using the wired ribbon that I used in that last project, and that is going to get added to the top of my tree. I used some floral wire just to secure my bow, and that way I could use that same wire to attach it to the top of the tree. And I did leave long tails on my bow so that I could have that kind of cascading down the tree. I hope you enjoyed my Rustic Farmhouse winter DIYs. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to check out that link in the playlist for all of the other videos to watch in the Winter Wonderland collab. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a blessed day.